views expressed on this program are those of the hosts, guests, and callers, and are not necessarily those of this station, its management, or other advertisers. You're listening to Transformation Talk Radio.
This show's audio was via a Skype call.
The Truth is Funny with Colette Stefan will have you thinking outside the box and riding the wave of infinite potential. Join Colette on the Higher Self Network as she provides energetic shifts and consistent results in every area of life, inspiring listeners to shine their brilliance and ensure success. Many people who shift out of limiting beliefs roar with laughter as they recognize the humor of the giant cosmic joke. The truth is funny. Shift happens. Feel instant relief. Stay tuned for more fun and release struggle and suffering. And now, here's your host, Colette Stefan.
Today, your guest host, Karen Betten, is here. Karen is a mother, nurse practitioner, certified body talk practitioner, Franklin Method instructor, and owner of Limitless Living, LLC. Joyful, abundant, and bursting with energy. Here is your guest host, Karen Betten.
Oh, hello, and welcome to The Truth is Funny on Transformation Talk Radio. I am Karen Betten, and I am filling in for Colette today and every third Wednesday of the month. I'm just so honored to be a regular guest host on this so powerful show. Stay tuned for the next hour to experience the power of using your intuition to solve life's most challenging problems. Shift happens here every Wednesday at 8 a.m. live on the airwaves and in the archives at thetruthisfunny.com, transformationtalkradio.com, and at thetransformationradio.fm. You can also, for this particular show that's every third Wednesday, you can find it at karenbetten.com. There's a podcast of every single show that's made, and those energetic shifts are still accessible through this higher self network. If you're listening later, we refer that to as HSN. It is truly my pleasure and honor to share life-transforming information that speaks to me and speaks to the community that we share with every week, and provide you with an opportunity to call in and delete energetic weaknesses if you feel the call to shift challenges into possibilities. We love to hear from you about comments, shares, experiences, questions about any topic that we were talking about, and invite you to call in at 1-800-930-2819. I'm so excited. I feel like I get such a great chance to share with this amazing community, all these amazing people that have been often parts of my own development and my own life. And I guess today I met years and years ago when I was first introduced to the power of energy medicine. And to this day, I still look at her as this incredibly powerful woman, and I'm so excited to be having this sort of moment where we get to share with each other our experiences here on this show. So my guest today is the amazing Shelley Poovey, and we are so excited to have her here. And Shelley, welcome to the show. How are you?
Hi, Karen. Thank you for that lovely introduction, and the feeling is mutual. It's been great to have you as one of my sort of colleagues in soul journey and exploration of consciousness and energy medicine and healing, and I'm really excited to be here.
Yeah, I remember the day that we met way back when I was first exploring body talk, and you were so powerfully hosting those classes. Thank goodness for you way back in the day, or I would never be where I'm at. But I have to admit that my page went away, so I wanted to give a great description about Shelley, and then the whole thing just disappeared. So now I need to do it. But I didn't have all my cues, and I was like, oh no, where did it go? But Shelley, I got to give you a little bit of background of this amazing woman. She's known for her heart-centered and compassionate connection to her clients and her approach to facilitating the process of self-healing. And I've met many of Shelley's clients along the way, and they absolutely adore and love and honor the incredible exchange that they have with her. She offers specialized personal sessions and group programs that offer unique and direct experiences of self-healing. She holds a Bachelor's of Science degree in psychology from UNC Chapel Hill with a focus in research and cognitive psychology. She's an advanced certified and Parama certified body talk practitioner. She's a 200-hour Yoga Alliance certified instructor. She's a certified Pilates instructor, and she's the creator of the Radiant Heart Meditation and Business Alchemy programs. She is also the owner of Body Attune in New York City. Shelley, welcome so much to the show. I feel a little bit better that I was able to sort of give you the real deal of what you are. Sorry for the pause in there. That's the way the world goes. Your paper's not there, and the window closes. You're like, ah.
Well, thank you for that intro. I'm happy to be here and share my journey and talk about energy medicine, and chat with the community and share some of my knowledge, and probably I'm going to learn a lot too here today. So,
well, so I always love to ask the guests, because from my world, my background is nursing. I find it really interesting, the many varied and colorful paths that people take to introducing and opening and exploring energy medicine. So would you share with us, what your journey was like? Because it looks like you went to a regular, old, amazing, high-level college and were on a more traditional path at some point in your life. But even cognitive psychology is that has that little consciousness piece to it. But share with us your journey.
Sure. It's interesting because I think there was a little bit of kismet at work for me on my path. I entered college expecting to become a teacher. I started on a teaching scholarship, and I was planning on teaching English and French. I was really interested in language, and I've been in the performing arts in high school way back when, and we were really competitive, and I was always interested in that. And then when I went to college, I don't know, when I got there, something just felt off. It didn't feel like the right, even though I'd kind of been on this path since I could remember. Once I got there, it was like, something's not quite right. So I took a year off and I went and danced professionally for a while, and then decided to come back. And then I got interested in cognitive psychology and cognitive science. And that just was a little bit of an organic thing. I was taking some of my requirements for school, and I was in a cognitive psychology class. And my professor was talking about this field of cognitive science, which was very integrative with neuroscience and philosophy and psychology and computer science and artificial intelligence, kind of interested in consciousness and models of consciousness. And I went in for some office hours with him and started asking him about it. And he said, well, what do you think it is? And I gave him some kind of whatever answer. And he was like, wow, you seem to have a real command of this. Would you like a job? And so the next thing I know, I'm working in research science and kind of on this track to become, a research scientist. And I worked in a couple different labs and started being more interested in sort of advanced concepts of that sort of meta field of cognitive science. I had a privilege to work in a lot of different environments and also see from an integrative perspective sort of the questions that were up at that period in time about consciousness. What is the mind, and who are we? And a lot of that conversation was around studying how people think and human consciousness through the senses, through visual perception and auditory perception, and trying to model computers and artificial intelligence technology around that. So at the same time that was all happening, I went with a friend to an audition for a dance company. She didn't want to go by herself, and I went with her as her friend. And then I got accepted into this dance company, and suddenly I was dancing and I was a dancer. I was a scientist. I was kind of like a little bit multitasking. And I joke that those years where I had a little bit of like a James Franco kind of a period where I was like doing a little bit of everything, just really hungry for knowledge. And I'd always been really just curious and studious and really interested in philosophy and consciousness, in that sort of metaphysical, philosophical kind of way. And so to have access to all this, I was like, I'm just really hungry for all of it. So that's really kind of where this journey really launched, was around my sophomore year of college, when that was the year that like all that kind of took off.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's fantastic. So early in life. Mine was much later on. I love that. Did you, but you weren't always, currently you're in New York City, right? But that's not where you were when I first met you. You had just moved here, right?
I moved to New York in 2000.
Yeah.
So I was I'm like born and raised North Carolina girl. That's why I went to UNC Chapel Hill.
Gotcha.
And I ended up moving to New York because of the dance community, and I was dancing, but I was also, there were a lot of healers and, and people doing really great work that I was really interested in who lived here, and I wanted to study with people, So I thought New York is really the place for me to continue my growth. And so I, took off, came to New York. I've been here for 18 years.
So Body Talk is where I met you through, but were there other modalities that you were exploring besides Body Talk prior to when our paths crossed?
Yes. So Body Talk was one of many amazing modalities that I just kind of bumped into that was like, hey, this is really kind of chocolate and peanut butter in my world. Like the science and the psychology and the energetics and the metaphysics are all together in this system. But before that, in my explorations of healing, I met a lot of amazing people. I'm certified in Pilates with someone who studied body-mind centering and is an amazing anatomist and healer. I worked with her, got certified through her, and worked with many of her mentors. And I also worked in the gyrotonic system, which is similar to Pilates and based in a lot of consciousness movement principles. I had studied yoga, martial arts, done lots and lots of meditation, just a lot of self-development is how I think about it. And then started doing that, shifting. I was still dancing, but, professionally started working and seeing clients using these modalities and trying to bring in all that knowledge that I'd accumulated into my sessions. And by, 2004, 2005, I'd been doing it, had my practice for a couple of years and was pretty much at capacity. And then around 2005, 2006 is when I was introduced to Body Talk. So,
yeah. Okay, great. Yeah. Fantastic. So you are also, you've developed your own method. And so I can't wait to explore this Radiant Heart Meditation and the Business Alchemy. But believe it or not, it's time to take a break already. So right when we get back from the break, I'm going to get you to share with the audience the incredible creations that you've had now that we know your amazing background. And we'll get to the first caller, too, that wants to share something with us. So you are listening to The Truth is Funny on Transformation Talk Radio. I'm Karen Betten, and I'm filling in for Colette today. And my guest is Shelley Poovey, and we will return shortly. Please feel free to call in at 1-800-930-2819, and we will make some shift happen.
Stay juicy. Tune in to Your Juicy Love with me, Una Drake, co-hosting monthly with Dr. Pat. And every second Monday at 12 p.m. on Transformation Talk Radio. My show, Your Juicy Love, helps you find the dynamic, life-affirming love you've always wanted. Transform your relationships and bring peace, joy, and juicy, juicy love to planet Earth. For more information, visit unadrake.com.
Golden Otter Divinations Radio, where the metaphysical meets the mainstream with Autumn Seibel. Tune in the first Friday every month at 9 a.m. Pacific as Autumn, educator, health coach, and medium, explores metaphysical and mainstream strategies on how to elevate your level of conscious living. Draw in the abundance that is yours by divine right. For more information about working with Autumn, visit goldenotter.us. That's golden like the precious metal and otter like the precious animal.us.
Dream on, fly high, and live adventurously on The Laura Meeks Show. Tune in each month on Transformation Talk Radio. As host, Laura Meeks guides you in finding your unique gifts and bringing them to life. As a certified life coach, speaker, and veteran bomber pilot for the U.S. Air Force, Laura knows how to follow a dream. She is ready to support you so you can dream on, fly high, and live adventurously. For more information on Laura and her work, visit flyhighliving.com.
Would you like your next chapter to be free from fear and angst? Tune in to Your Next Chapter Radio, navigating through life's transitions with Shelley Ryan the fourth Monday at 12 p.m. Pacific on TransformationTalkRadio.com. Shelley's contagious enthusiasm guides you through life's transitions deliberately, mindfully, and funnily. For Your Next Chapter coaching or to listen, visit YourNextChapterCoaching.com or call 602-617-8351. Next.
Join Jennifer Noel Taylor on the hit show Quantum Touch Radio, supercharging your life on TransformationTalkRadio.com. You'll take a quantum journey as we reveal powerful yet simple steps to create more abundance, better health, emotional and mental vibrancy, and happier relationships using universal quantum touch principles. For more information, visit JenniferNoelTaylor.com.
Are you ready to stop stress, anxiety, and low self-esteem from running your life? Join award-winning author Dr. Friedemann Schaub for Empowerment Radio and learn breakthrough solutions to switch out of survival mode and approach every day with great ease, joy, and purpose. Tune in the first and third Wednesday at 11 a.m. Pacific to Empowerment Radio with host Dr. Friedemann Schaub on Transformation Talk Radio. Visit thefearandanxietysolution.com to learn more.
We are back on The Truth is Funny. I am Karen Betten. I'm filling in for Colette today and every third Wednesday of the month. And my guest today is Shelley Poovey. Before we continue, Shelley, can you please share your contact information with our audience?
Absolutely. If you want to find me, the easiest way to find me is my website, which is bodyattune.com, www.b like boy, O-D like David, Y, ATTUNE.com.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And mine is KarenBetten.com, and you can reach me at Karen@KarenBetten.com. So we were just starting to dive into a little bit of, if you would share with us some of the amazing things you've created through all the collaboration and studies and exploration and bringing forth your own gift of how to open people's minds and hearts. The first thing I would love for you to tell us about is your Radiant Heart meditation.
Yeah, I'd love to talk about it. So as we were talking before the break, I had done all these different things, right? Prior to being introduced to Body Talk. And when I found Body Talk, I felt like Body Talk was the perfect modality for me because it integrated all my interests into one thing. And if you've never heard of Body Talk or you are still learning about it, it is a healing system. It's a system that stimulates your body's self-healing, and it works with cutting edge science. The system itself is committed to scientific based information, and so it integrates quantum physics and also the latest research in health and wellness. So all the cutting edge research on the microbiome and epigenetics is all integrated into the system. And yet it's very simple, and it really accesses our innate wisdom, which is ancient. And it's a very simple yet very profound system. And so it captured my curiosity. And when I started receiving sessions, I experienced dramatic shifts in my own health and wellness, even though I was doing all these other things and, taking care of myself. I felt like Body Talk really opened me up to a next level of living. And I think part of that process with Body Talk, we say, sessions are cumulative because your own self-healing is getting a tune-up in that session. And then the more sessions that you get, the better your own innate wisdom, we call it in Body Talk, that part of you that just knows what you need. It just gets stronger and stronger and stronger. And then I think at some point for me, what happened was over time was all this information that I had flooding my system in my mind, body, and spirit started to integrate. And it sort of exploded into some new practices. And the first level and first stage of that was I started doing some my body started going into spontaneous states of meditation. And then those meditation practices started coming up in my sessions with my clients, and started working with my clients, and it sort of evolved into its own little set of practices, which I call the Radiant Human Meditation. At first, it was Radiant Heart because it was just a heart-based, and then it sort of, And so one of the things with it was it's integrative. So I don't think of it as something new. I think of it as an evolution that simplifies the process of intuition development, self-healing, and sort of takes away some of the ingrained cultural beliefs that come from some of the more established systems like yoga or martial arts. And it is not to diminish those systems. It's just another option that doesn't have all that with it.
Powerful. I love that. That's funny. I thought I had done a typo because I wrote Radiant Human Meditation on my website. And so I didn't realize you did actually change the name of it. So, and I love that because, we keep evolving and expanding and finding a deeper resonance with different words as we move along. So the piece of this that speaks so much to me is this beliefs, right? Because beliefs are such an unconscious part of what influences the experiences that we have, and the things that either do happen to us or in other cases do not happen to us that we either like or we don't like. And to have so how do people get them? Are they available on your website? Are they do you do classes for the Radiant Human Meditation? Or
yes, so the basic practice that sort of started the whole thing, the whole experience for me, is available for free in two places. It's available on my website to download, and I call it RHM for short, because it was Radiant Heart Meditation and now it's Radiant Human Meditation. And, I like RHM. It's almost like a frequency, like there's it's like
I agree. Yeah.
And so it's like really tapping into your unique, I call it Radiant Human Meditation because this is a meditation practice that liberates you. It's all about you. It's not about learning something else or mastering a technique. It's about liberating your radiance. And so we just abbreviated RHM. It's a frequency. And the basic practice, that's a gratitude practice that was the original one, is available for free on my website. It's also available to listen to on the Insight Timer app. So that's something you can download to your phone. And if you look up me, Shelley Poovey, or you look up Radiant Human Meditation, it's there. So those,
Fabulous. And so let's just briefly, I just want you to give us a little bit of this understanding of what the basic topic of today, which is business alchemy, is. And then we'll bring the caller on. Right? Does that sound like a good plan? Yeah. So tell us about this. I love this. Right. Alchemy is this word that seems to be used so much more. And many of us are not even familiar with what we're referring to in there. So do share.
Yeah. Well, I was doing, the Radiant Human Meditation sort of spontaneously came through, and I was practicing it and working with other people. And and I started working with that in addition to some of the other tools and techniques I kind of pick up along the way to evolve my practice. And, I established Body Attune in 2012, and I was doing a lot of healing on my business and myself. And I started to sort of hone in on a process that I found really effective at just clearing a lot of those belief systems and that you were referring to, that we get ingrained with, a lot of subconscious beliefs and inherited beliefs. And I started doing these meditations and process, and I started uncovering all these things and just shifting them left and right. And then people who knew me started to see all this expansion in my work and in my personal life and really wanted to learn how to do it. So I started offering programs. And so I've been offering those programs ever since. And they're kind of evolved to work. They work together. So the self-development piece, and then, business is kind of a charged word. And, part of the process is to break down a lot of charge around that word. It can be busyness. It can come along with like sort of like being professional or being in the world, or some of the consciousness issues that come with money, and like, doing what you love and living your purpose, and some of the beliefs that come up around feeling like you can't, or that you're never enough, or, those sort of things. And so we alchemize that, we transform it, and so that's really the foundation of the program and the process.
Fabulous. And there is so much of a charge, particularly people in this type of healing arts, around the word business, right? When you have this learning to integrate the intuition and the heart-centeredness with an upgraded model that represents the truth of what we've uncovered, can be challenging, right? Like particularly if you're getting any advice on your so-called business to make it maybe more viable or whatever it may be, the advice you get is often in sort of the older paradigm, that says working hard is the only solution. You have to work harder. You have to put more time in. And I love what you were saying is opening to having a business model that honors sort of the mirror, right, of your business and the life that you are leading, and opening to having successful businesses that also honor the human that is running them, and the needs and the need to nurture and nourish oneself when they are participating in anything in life, and how powerful that can be for everyone.
Absolutely. And this work really helps to transform the idea that if you're not doing those things that all the business coaches and the business leaders say, that you're somehow a failure. And embracing your humanity and using your intuitive gifts to help have a vital relationship with the ebb and the flow of whatever it is that you're choosing to do in your life. So whether, just that whole concept of work-home life balance, or working with what's in alignment with your sense of purpose, your sense of self-care, and all the things that you love. And that the needs change over time. It's not one thing. And so it's really changing that whole concept of a sustainable business model. So how to create an experience that expands and contracts and ebbs and flows organically with what's really going on in your world.
Right. Oh, I love that. Well, listen, as always, time sort of flies, and it's time to, I'm loving this, but we're going to take the caller right when we come back, but it's also time to take a break. So I am Karen Betten, and you're listening to The Truth is Funny, and we will be right back to take your calls, 1-800-930-2819.
Did you know that all of the shows on the Transformation Radio Network are available as podcasts to stream or download?
Really?
Check us out. Go to transformationradio.fm. We have business shows, spiritual shows, energy healing shows, and pretty much everything in between. Something for everyone, guaranteed to inspire, educate, and transform. We are transforming the world, one listener at a time.
This is Debbie Pokornik with a break-free parenting tip. Parenting will always be a bit of a mystery. Who knows why some parenting ideas work and others do not? Or why some kids seem to succeed despite family setbacks, while others have so much given to them and yet fail to thrive. The one thing we do know is that once you have a child, you'll never be quite the same again. Awe-inspiring emotions like overwhelming love, extreme guilt, intense frustration, and incredible joy make this job second to none. Breaking free of parenting pressures means recognizing the pieces that make us unique, the pieces that we carry with us from the past, and the pieces that are influenced by the society we live in. When we can pick and choose which pieces we want to keep around and change the others to align with our inner wisdom, we will feel more self-assured in our role as a parent.
For information and to work with Debbie, visit empoweringnrg.com.
Are you done being afraid to jump into the life that's waiting for you? Are you ready for a real shift? I invite you to tune in every Tuesday with me, Tracy L., on the Tracy L. Clark Show, where we will teach you how to live your extraordinary life. At 8 a.m. Pacific on Transformation Talk Radio, where I will provide the tools and the steps needed to help you transcend perceived limitations and move forward with an extraordinary life. For more information, visit me at tracylclark.com.
Introducing the Lucid Planet, a digital gathering place featuring cutting-edge, high-vibrational content that will empower and inspire you to become the greatest version of yourself. Visit the Lucid Planet today to stimulate your mind, body, and soul as you connect with a global community of like-minded people. The Lucid Planet is edited by renowned psychologist and author Dr. Kelly Neff, who is here to help you cope with anxiety, connect to your higher purpose, uncover your true passions, and live your dreams. Dr. Kelly's fresh, compassionate perspective emphasizes growth, transformation, healing, and thriving. Even in the face of adversity, say goodbye to bad news and low vibrational media for good and become part of the larger collective of people working together to navigate the global shift of consciousness and transform the world from within. Join the planet, the Lucid Planet. Visit thelucidplanet.com. Welcome home.
This is Karen Betten, and I am filling in for Colette today and have the amazing Shelley Poovey with me. And we have been discussing business alchemy, radiant human meditation, expansion, different pathways, different ways of looking at life. And we're having a great time here. So we are ready to bring in our first caller. Carter, can you bring her to us?
Yeah, Marie, welcome to the show.
Hi, Marie. Welcome. Thank you so much for calling in.
Hi, Marie.
Where are you calling in from? Does it say Paris? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm phoning from France. My question is regarding to you're just talking to about the break, before the break was about this like rejuvenation and taking maybe breaks or having energy for doing holistic work or balance, sort of work-life balance. Because I find that whenever I have days off from my day job and I want to give effort to my holistic, to doing therapies and meditations and so on, but all I feel like doing is just sleeping. So any suggestions of how I can overcome that?
Yeah, that's such an interesting one. I'm going to defer to Shelley because I feel like, and feel free to jump in at any point, Shelley, with what you have to share, because I think this is your world that you have created this amazing opening for all of us to dive into. So I'm listening.
Marie, I can relate to this dynamic. And I'm wondering...
Me too.
Yeah, right? Like, and I think one of the... In my work and in all the years I've been leading these programs and doing this energy work with my clients and participants in my program, I think the number one thing that I feel like all of us are going through right now, and one of the reasons that I created the program, is that it's like the world asks more of us than we can really give. And I think there's some collective belief systems that there's never any room for us, that it's selfish to take care of yourself. It's self-nurturing is a selfish thing. And that if you're not working or giving to others, that you're not doing enough. And I noticed that people, and I myself included, will self-neglect. And will sometimes isolate or inhibit taking that time off or taking that space to get a massage or go to the spa or go get your Reiki session or do, I do a lot of classes, and I take Reiki classes. I take obviously body talk classes and Qigong and meditation. And I find that even though I'm carving out that time and space, where's my mindset? Where's my intention with that? And I find very often that I'm like, well, I'm a conscious business owner and I need to learn this technique, rather than just dropping into that space and allowing myself to receive the healing and receive that, whatever it is that is being offered to me, and allowing myself to have that space to just be me, to just be Shelley. And so I don't know if that resonates for you, but when you were saying that, that's just kind of what I was picking up on. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think, Shelley, a point that you brought up that I could just feel, even for the entire community, this idea of not doing enough. So many of us, that's that unconscious thought form that is running in the background and operating and influencing how we interpret our life experiences, right? Like even the way you were describing, Marie, I can totally understand that, right? Like your day off and you want to rest and you somehow think that inclination to rest is less valuable than your also inclination to do something, right? And the power of resting being this incredible, even though you can't see it with your physical eyes, that so much is going on. And when the mind's at rest, this incredible internal intelligence that we have is given an even greater chance to do what it does that's so far outside the rational mind. And I just want to sort of strengthen all of us in this really intuitive way to expanding this idea of not doing enough being something that is, that we get to expand in our own way, right? So that when we're drawn to do more, we can do that naturally and effortlessly. And when we're drawn to do less, we can do that naturally and effortlessly and sort of disconnect from any future projection that is less valuable or anything coming in from the past and our ancestors and the community and the business world that has previously influenced our willingness and openness to explore that aspect of our life experience. So normally I would ask you, what number you were when you were thinking about this before, but we got so involved. I was so connected to what you were saying, Marie, that I didn't even ask you that. And I was so opening to the shift myself. So I'll just ask you to share, when you think about what you called in about originally, does it feel the same or different?
It feels different. I can feel kind of shivers through listening to the two of you.
Yeah.
And
and I really want
not
to
only sleep, but it can be things that rejuvenate.
Yeah, so much is going on at that time, right? And remember, for all of us, the ripple effect of changing your perspective, actually, that has an impact, right, on the DNA and has an impact on the neurotransmitters and the hormones and everything that is reacting in your body. And that ripple effect will continue over even just the next 3 days into the next week. And like Shelley was saying earlier, that it has an accumulative effect, right? And it just keeps building on it. And now in the space that you're in, you get to magnetize the next experience that is truly aligned for you, that just builds on this as you become more and more clear on how you want to share and express your life. Wonderful. Thank you so much, Marie. Is there anything else we could...
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Do you have any other questions or any other comments or anything else that you'd like to share with the community?
I'm good for the moment.
And again, I really want to thank you
so very much.
Everyone else you give everyone, right? Just by you having the willingness to call in, you give everyone that is hearing and listening to this now, and anyone that listens to the podcast in the future and has the same sort of visceral response that I had, like, oh yeah, that I deal with that every day, and gives them that opportunity to shift through just by hearing our exchange here. So thank you again, Marie, and have a wonderful day.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Marie.
Isn't that interesting, right, Shelley, that, and you and I have had this sort of discussion through the years, like way back in the day, right, coordinating the Body Talk the Body Talk classes, and sort of sometimes aspects of life feeling like a drag. So I just think it's such a gift to the world that you are, that you've created this container where people can explore that and really open up to their new ways of interacting with the idea of business, so that they can share for all of us, right? That the possibility of expanding that model to be something that supports health as well.
Absolutely. And I noticed in those coordinating experiences and just once I shifted into having a full-time healing practice, there were a couple different things that I noticed showed up for me that were a little bit hidden when I was doing other things professionally. Because I was always doing healing work, but it was just a part of me and my identity, right? And then shifting into seeing clients and, seeing clients and scheduling people in and focusing my intentions and my healing capacity as a professional changed my needs in my personal life. So I had to set different boundaries, and I bumped up against a lot of false belief systems that did not work for me, especially the idea that because I do energy work, that somehow I'm this endless well of healing and that I can just do it anytime, any place, and as many clients at a time, or, people calling me at midnight, and people being very upset if I set a boundary and said, well, this is when I'm available, and this is what has to happen. And then in my personal life, people used to getting a certain amount of that from me personally, and for me to say, because I'm doing this professionally now, I actually have to make sure that I rest when I'm not at the office. Like I have office hours on, office hours off, and it's just a whole reorganization of those. I always had those abilities and that capacity, and I just had to reorganize and reorient my relationship. And it's been fascinating to see and go through those stages of adjustments of expectations from others, and how, I have to continue to nurture that all the time.
Yeah. And then to see, as you nurture and address what's coming up for you, your business explode, your approaches explode, right? Like, and see that sort of mirror reflection. And, I resonate, I think I would love to, every nurse needs to hear this, right? Like that was my background. I'm a nurse practitioner, and just, in that healing field, that much more traditional healing field, right? There's shift work, there's 12 hours, you can't go home. There's every nurse is running on empty, and they're on, there's all sorts of stories around it, underpaid, overworked, not appreciated, all of these beliefs and these ideas. And, I think your course would be phenomenal for every nurse out there, to just give them an opportunity to explore that container in which they are engaging in that experience, and see the opportunity to reflect upon them exploring their own issues with it, so that they can bring that as the support that helps them create the change in their daily life, right? Like how they engage in their work, what they say no to. And that's so much. We're all being bombarded with possibilities and things to do, and finding a framework that supports us to say no more easily when we feel called to is such a gift to the world, and such an opportunity. Well, we actually need to take another break, and I can't wait when we come back. I want to explore. Shelley also does some improv comedy work, and which I just think is an incredibly powerful healing exploration as well. And so we're going to dive into that a little bit when we get back. But this is Karen Betten. I'm filling in for Colette today, and have Shelley Poovey here with me. And please feel free to call in 1-800-930-2819, and we will be right back.
High-frequency healing for an amazing life with Source Light Radio. Join host Laura Barton each month on Transformation Talk Radio as she explores Source Light integration, a unique spectrum of energy, light, and frequency. Experience instantaneous healing and amazing shifts in consciousness with Source Light Integrations Radio. For more information on Laura and her work, visit sourcelightintegrations.com.
How would you like increased health and vitality? How would you like to avoid the onset of disease as well as slow the aging process? This is all possible through a simple, safe, and natural process. Every day we are either moving toward wellness or away from wellness.
Hi, I'm Mary Jane Mack. I'd like to be your partner in achieving optimal health. Contact me now at maryjanemack.com or call 425-392-0659. Visit maryjanemack.com.
Defining success and putting minds to work. With the Higher Learners Career and Leadership Series, Rudy Racine will help you craft your personal definition of success, offering support and guidance as you move forward towards your goals. Take the leap. With the right mix of focus and motivation, anything can be achieved. Tune in every first and third Monday at 12 p.m. Pacific, 3 Eastern, and for more information on Rudy Racine and Higher Learners, visit Rudy's site at higherlearners.com. That's HIRE learners.com.
Did you know that all of the shows on the Transformation Radio Network are available as podcasts to stream or download?
Really?
Check us out. Go to transformationradio.fm. We have business shows, spiritual shows, energy healing shows, and pretty much everything in between. Something for everyone, guaranteed to inspire, educate, and transform. We are transforming the world, one listener at a time.
Tune in to The Jen Royster Show, intuitive guidance to inspire your life, each Thursday at 8 a.m. Pacific and 11 a.m. Eastern on TransformationTalkRadio.com. This amazing show is an inspirational hour that will take you on an epic metaphysical journey to discover the spiritual approach to life's greatest challenges. Dr. Jen is an internationally known intuitive counselor, spiritual teacher, and energy healer. Call in for intuitive readings and visit JenRoyster.com for more information.
Welcome to the Dr. Pat Show, talk radio to thrive by. I am so thrilled to be talking to all of you. We have got talk radio for all of us. Are you ready and willing and able to accept all of the abundance you can muster up in your life? Yeah! Check us out at drpatshow.com, transformationtalkradio.com, transformationradio.fm. Oh my goodness.
So we are back on The Truth is Funny, and I am Karen Betten, and I am filling in for Colette today, and my amazing guest is Shelley Poovey. I just want to give a nice shout out there for Colette. She's having a fabulous event on Friday night from 7 to 9 p.m. It's a live talk event, and the hotel name has changed from the Holiday Express to the Wingate by Wyndham. But you can find out about all of her amazing, she's got some powerful events coming up on the truthisfunny.com. And, oh goodness, Colette does really, really powerful work. Often in my family, when we have, pretty much always, when we have challenges come up, we will go through all of the different modalities that we use, and almost everyone will say, let's do Colette, let's talk with Colette. So to have a chance to work with Colette live in person is just so powerful. Or even through the teleshifting, you know, she does these amazing teleshifting programs. So please check out her website and find out where it is. Whoops, maybe I said the name wrong. I think it's the Kanaka Hotel. Kanaka, but find out the information on truthisfunny.com. And if you're available, join Colette. Trust me, you will not regret that experience. The expansion is limitless when you work with her. Now, so interesting. So here we are talking about this opportunity to take part in a course that Shelley has created around Business Alchemy. And thanks to our caller, we were addressing this idea about time. And Shelley and I were talking a little about this on the break of like so many in our world are struggling with I don't have enough time, right? We're constantly bombarded with just so many different things that are an opportunity. So Shelley, I'm going to challenge you a little bit and ask you this question of like those people that are feeling the call to participate in this and feel that working with their boundaries around the things that they love and creating a space that allows them to nurture and nourish themselves so that they can take part in doing a business that is a representation of the truth of who they are. How can they possibly make time to take this course when there's no time to begin with, right?
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. This is the question. And, you know, I think I have asked myself this question, and I get asked this question a lot. And this is an energy healing program. You know, this is very much the antithesis of a lot of business coaching programs or personal coaching programs that are like, you've got to do more, you've got to get more organized, you've got to get more disciplined, you've got to do. This is meditation and energy work. And this is the program that's for people who are already doing everything that they possibly can. They already do too much. This is working at an energetic level. And so I have a lot of people who do my programs who only ever signed up. Like they're not even necessarily there for the live sessions, or it might be a while before they get to the recordings. And every single time people say to me, I don't know how this works, but I feel my life is much more easy. I feel like the things that I'm trying to manifest come more easily. And when I listen to the recordings, everything that you're saying is exactly what's going on in my life. And I feel like you're able to tap into my energy remotely and support me energetically and shifting those underlying energetic patterns that keep me stuck and not able to expand. And it's really, I mean, you know, coming from an academic background and coming from a psychology and science background, you know, the whole concept of energy was a little bit obtuse for me until I started working with it. And so much of what we do is just giving people, you know, the reason I do an extended program is to give people an opportunity to experience over the arc of time the shifts, and that I'm there to support and coach and give feedback and validate that the relationship between what we're doing in the program and what's showing up in their lives. And it's really amazing for me to see those things happen for people.
Yeah. And that the piece that I would like to just address is this idea, like even I did a talk the other night and I had a midwife coming up to me saying, but I don't understand how that could change. How could something so physical change? And I'm going to even, you know, present that to you. You know, people put time and, you know, money, which is actually energy, into a program like this. And not everyone has an understanding of how does that create physical change. And I'm going to ask you that. And then, you know, we can discuss on that a little bit. But it's a funny little leap that we've all had to make, right? Well, how does this work? Okay, but now we know it works. But how does it work? Well,
I mean, I think, well, the first thing I'll say is the program is about the results and a supported environment of experiencing what energy work is. And sometimes people will say to me, oh, well, you know, this is really esoteric and it's probably people who are already really into energy work or already do energy work. And sometimes that's true. But I have people join my program who are just as straight up, plain vanilla, not ever done any meditation or anything, who come and start working with me. And sometimes they're the ones who get the biggest shifts because they're already established in their life. They already have a really strong foundation of consciousness and the material plane, and they're really engaged in that material plane, and it's all taken shape, and they're already powerful. And then by just adding this little extra something, it really expands their whole ability to work with their intentions and manifestation. I'll give one example. So I have a coaching client who has a business, and her business has been doing what it's been doing forever and ever and ever. And she was like, this is my business. This is what it is. But ... you know, over time, I realized that my business really relies on me. I kind of have to be there. I have to babysit it. And I'm getting, you know, older, and my husband's retiring, and I don't want to let go of my business, but I want to be able to nurture my business to the next stage where I don't have to be there as much. Right. And so when we started working with the process a little bit, and it didn't take much, I mean, it only took like one session, you know, we set up what I call her vortex, her business vortex. So I helped her establish her vortex, which was separate from her because she was completely fused. Her business was her, and she was her business, right? And so I have a process where we separate those things out and let her business have its own energy system that's separate from her. And so then we were able to, you know, she was like, I have a team of people, and they're not necessarily the right people for me, but they're also my employees, and I can't just fire them or whatever. Like, I don't know how to shift this. So we worked with intentions, and we worked with some meditations. I got her doing some, you know, just spending 10 to 15 minutes a day meditating, which she found very nourishing, and she could do it with her headphones on while she was doing other things. And, you know, these people that were on her team, within just a month or two, every single person that she felt like wasn't really a team player left on their own. She didn't have to do anything. And it was just like a real eye-opening thing for her, where she was like, you know, I mean, you know, she is curious how it works, but, you know, the proof was in the pudding, and she was like, well, it is what it is, you know, and I'm getting what I need. And so I'm a lifer now. This is the ticket, you know?
Right. And sometimes, like, our rational understanding limits the process, right? Like, because it can't be, it's not, what's happening is not rational. And that's actually a limited space versus utilizing this other thing that has no boundaries, and these magical things happen, right? When we shift what's going on in us, suddenly the energy exchange is no longer there, and those employees leave on their own. And it's so powerful. And we start to open up to this idea of ease and abundance and joy being more possible in our lives. So I just absolutely love that people are having the opportunity to explore this with you. And I love that you're putting it in the container of Business Alchemy. It's so very powerful. Shelley, can you believe that we are getting to the end of our time together? This has been so fun.
Just time has flown by, speaking of time.
And maybe we'll get the honor of working with you again. And I would love to do a whole show to talk about improv comedy and the power that can have on the world, because that just, again, as everything, so many things speak to my heart, but that does too. But thank you for all that you're doing in this world. And Shelley, share your information one last time.
Absolutely. My Radiant Human Meditation and Business Alchemy programs, you can find more about that at my website, which is www.bodyattune.com, BODYATTUNE. If you want to email me, it's Shelley, SHELLEY, @bodyattune.com.
Fabulous. And my information, I'm at www.karenbetten.com. You can find out anything there. And then please go ahead onto Colette's website at thetruthisfunny.com and check out her live event that's happening Friday, I think 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. You really don't want to miss that. And to all to our caller, Marie, we thank you so much for calling in and expanding this experience for everyone. Thank you to Carter, and Colette will be back next week at 8 a.m. and I will be back on the third Wednesday of next month. So bye for now.
You've been listening to The Truth is Funny with Colette Stefan. Tune in to The Truth is Funny with Colette Stefan each Wednesday at 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern on TransformationTalkRadio.com. Join Colette on the Higher Self Network as she provides energetic shifts and consistent results in every area of life, inspiring listeners to shine their brilliance and ensure success while roaring with laughter as they recognize the humor of the giant cosmic joke. The Truth is Funny. Visit thetruthisfunny.com for more information. That's thetruthisfunny.com.